Okay, here we are. Well, thank you very much for coming tonight, for coming the long road to your computer from your chair or whatever. But anyway, so we're going to talk about Earth Day, and we're going to talk about total wellness, and I hope you're going to pick up a few tips. Um, First of all, Shaklee believes in total wellness, and what that means is what you put on your body, what you breathe, your surroundings, what you're exposing yourself to, what you eat, how you supplement, the water you drink. So it's very in for all of us, and a lot of you folks on there, I just have to give you a lot of credit for being dedicated to wanting to learn more and to do more with this, because we're the people that are going to, believe it or not, you don't think you're powerful, but you can change the world because of the things that we're going to do differently. So today we're going to talk about why should we be concerned about cleaners? What is toxic in our home? How can we choose well? And we're going to give you tips on products. So it's going to be some fun stuff. Let's get started here. Well, first of all, some of you probably know this, but chemical pollutants have been found to be 2 to 5 times higher inside our home versus outside. I can remember when that came out, everybody was so shocked, they couldn't believe it. Now I think we're starting to believe it. We understand it. That's why you open your windows. So long-term exposure to chemicals inside our homes may be harmful to us and our families. And also keep in mind anything you bring into your house, because everything outgasses. So, you bring in a new sofa, it outgasses for a couple of years. You paint, if you don't use the right paint, that outgasses. Flooring, wood. So just keep in mind that a lot of that can really hurt us. Now, this lady here looks like she's in pain, but again, potential health effects. These are all things that we know, like, oh, gee, people, they get emphysema, they can't breathe, or their nose gets irritated, or all of these things, headaches, nausea. But there's a lot of things that happen beyond that that we really should be paying attention to. So, for example, a lot of the chemicals in our cleaning products, and there still are chemicals, just so you know, they're not all safe. Some of them have neurotoxins in, which can actually affect our brains. And how did we know that? I don't think years ago we didn't know that. Hormone disruptors. And that's real important for women because it can really mess us up, because we are, unfortunately, as women, we're like a pool of chemicals, not chemicals, a pool of hormones. So it can really affect us, but also with weight. A lot of people can't lose weight because the the hormone disruptors have really affected our ability to lose weight. And a lot of folks don't realize that. And I always say, the toxins hold the fat and the fat holds the toxins. So you've got to get rid of toxins even in your body, because we all have them. We just accumulated them. But it's worse if considering what kind of cleaners you use. Also, kidney and liver damage are really prevalent. So let's look a little bit further. This is such a cute little girl. Anyway, common household cleaners give off fumes that can potentially increase the risk of children developing asthma. Now, this is an older study. It said 1 in 12 school-age children have asthma. But we know now it's at least 1 in 10. And that's really bad. And I have a feeling in a couple of years, it'll be 1 in 6, the way we're going. It's not a good thing. So it also affects our pets. You think about this, our children, sometimes in those early years, they spend more time in the house. And pets also, some of them live in the house. They don't hardly ever go out, some of them. So the pets are affected by the chemicals also. And I will tell you that there are a lot of sick puppies and kittens. There's a lot of them are sick, and they're at the vets all the time. And it's not, I don't want to say it's not normal, but you don't want to have them go through that if you can help it. Now, there also was a study in 2013 on poisoning, as far as children that were 6 years old and over. First of all, the poisoning occurred from medication poisoning, pesticides, and cleaners. But of the kids that they tested, 2,700 kids were poisoned in this testing. 1,758 were from cleaners. So that surprised me, because I thought, oh my God, really? Could it be? Anyway, so let's go on a little bit more and look. So now we want to look at what's under your sink, because all of us have something like this, or we did. I don't anymore, but I used to. ammonia degreasers, glass cleaners, oven cleaners, toilet bowl cleaners. And okay, so what about them? Well, here, some of them we know are just damaging, irritating, okay? But again, some of them will damage your lung tissues and dissolve fatty tissues around your nerve cells. That doesn't sound good. Irritate your skin, eyes, and respiratory system. I'm sorry. And they can cause severe damage to your eyes, skin, mouth, and throat. So there's a lot of, and the toilet bowl cleaners are really bad. God forbid if they ever get in that. One of the things that's really toxic, and I think Sue's going to talk about it later, is the stuff you wash your dishes with in the dishwasher. That's really toxic. So that's a one. But again, you read the ingredients. Some of them have cleaned up the rack a little bit. These are two ingredients that are really prevalent. They're really common: hydrochloric acid and butyl-cellulose. Hydrochloric acid, that you can find them in odor eliminators like Febreze probably, or things like that, toilet bowl cleaners, and they can be very damaging, and especially if you inhale them for long periods of time. Butyl-cellulose, this is one that you find in tub and tile cleaners, window cleaners, rug shampoos, floor polishers. This is more heavy duty stuff. And I have a really cool story to tell about this. I went and met with a woman. I meet with so many people, it's so hard to remember these stories, but she said, I went up and I used a tub and tile cleaner. And she said, that just, the ones that were real toxic, that you take everything off. She said, I went up in the bathroom, I closed the door, I opened the window. My baby was downstairs in a playpen. And she said, I started to spray and use it, and I heard the baby cough. And she said, I stopped using it immediately, and I won't use it again. She said, I couldn't believe that would happen, that could affect her a whole flight away. Anyway, so serious stuff. So how do we pick good cleaners? This is a good question, okay? Again, there are studies show that there are a lot of mass-produced commercial cleaners that are marketed as green and environmentally safety, and they're not exactly as green as they prove to be. And there's even a name for it, called innocent deception, and it's called greenwashing. People stop it. It's called greenwashing. Like, in other words, they're making it sound a little bit better than it is. So what do you do when you do look for something? Again, we know ours are always clean, always works, always green. It's easy to say that. But what you really want to do is you want to really look at the ingredients. It's really important to see what is in these products. And you want to make sure they're from natural sources. We know all of ours are from corn and coconut surfactants, believe it or not. And they just make water wetter. And then there's a few, other things that go in, but everything is completely natural. They can say biodegradable. Someone else can say that if it biodegrades in like 10 years, everything we have biodegrades in like a month. So we're more into being more sustainable. And sustainable means that you leave the earth the way you found it, as close as you can. So as a result, Shaklee does everything's recyclable packaging, recyclable dryer sheets even. You can put it in with your paper products. And we don't test on animals. So again, a lot of these things, you buy a bottle of concentrate and you buy a bunch of bottles and you make your own stuff. And it isn't hard to do because, like, for dummies like me, they put it on the back of the bottle. So you can remember, definitely. So you can make a difference. And I just want to make everybody feel real powerful. Not that you have to do this, but say somebody did purchase a Get Clean starter kit. That's our kit that has a little bit of enough to replace most of what you have. If you bought it, you are eliminating 108 pounds of packaging waste from landfills. And that's a lot of waste because we don't have bottles that you just keep throwing out. You just keep using them. You eliminate 248 pounds of greenhouse gas emissions, and it's the equivalent of planting 10 trees. And what Shaklee does is, if anybody buys one of these, I just sold one today to some guy, they plant a tree. They plant a tree too in their honor, which is kind of nice. So now I'm going to have one of my wonderful people, Sue Rand, who is a Shaklee distributor, and she's going to tell us about, and I can move this over, Sue, if you want me to. She's going to tell us about a couple of products. So I'm going to move us all over so we can see that. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Sue.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of going at it from a gardening perspective because that's what goes on here this time of year. I have a lot of organic gardens and I use Basic H for pretty much everything. I put it in the water that I use to water my plants. It helps the water, it cuts down on the watering, helps the plants absorb nutrients a little bit better. I clean all my tools in it. When I wash my floors or my windows or whatever, well, not my windows so much, but when I wash floors, or right now I'm doing a fence washing project with the Basic H squared, and all the water that's in my bucket goes to water my plants because I know it can be super safe. I bathe my dog in it because he has allergies. So I just don't really use anything else. I have the 3 bottles mixed up 3 different ways. One for windows, which is, I learned the hard way, not 2 or 3 drops in a 16-ounce bottle, but 1 drop in a 16-ounce bottle.
Right.
And it works like a champ. I can't believe it. So I don't know how much this little bottle costs now, 12 bucks or something. It lasts like a year. And I just found out that it was the very first Earth Day cleaning product of the year, I guess, or
Right. We were the first Earth Day. We were the first official product of Earth Day, Basic Age.
kind of cool. And
And
that
look at,
was
and I still can't
back a
believe it
long
makes
time ago.
I can't believe it makes all those bottles of window cleaner. And I mean, I do believe it, but I mean, when you see the number, it's like, oh my God, from that little bottle. Okay.
And it
you want,
works.
tell me when you want the next slide, Sue?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So
Well, that just kind of recaps everything that we just said. I mean, each one has a recipe. Each bottle has a recipe, and I think Basic H uses 1/4 teaspoon for a big squirt bottle. And I mean, I thought the fence washing was going to be like a nightmare. We get green algae kind of stuff all over everything here in the winter, lawn furniture, fences, stairs, and I just squirted it on and pretty much just wiped it off. Where in years before, Tom's gone out there with a pressure washer and bleach, and it's like, we're not going to do it that way anymore. So it really does work. The degreaser we use a lot for the gas grill, because that gets kind of gross, and you just squirt it on and scrape it off, and it just works great. And like I said, the windows, you have to be really careful you don't add 3 drops. 2 might be okay, but 3.
Okay. And I'm going to take you to the next one because I think you wanted to talk about this one too.
Well, so we always used those dishwasher pods.
Don't
And
yeah.
And they, and I would always kind of be a little annoyed because I'm making Tom sound like a creep, but he's not. But he would like practically wash the dishes before he put them in the dishwasher. I'm going, why do we even have this dishwasher? You're washing these dishes. So I said, let's just try the Shackley one. Well, so we tried it, and I'm not a big dish rinser before I put it in. So I just threw them all in there with food particles all over the place. And they came out super clean. But what was really surprising to me was we had been getting an odor, and the only thing I can say it smelled like was worms. Like when I opened the dishwasher door, I smelled worms until we switched to this Shackley dishwasher detergent, and now I have not smelled that. So I don't know if it's something in the pods that reacted to our water. I can't say what it was, but I will say we both noticed a huge difference in the way the dishes get cleaned and the way they smell.
Great, wonderful. So I'll do this one, and then I'm going to let Maureen speak a little bit because she's got some great stories too. Scour Off. I wanted to tell people about this because this is, I think, everybody's favorite product. What do you do to take care of pots and pans and what do you do if you don't use stuff in your stove? How do you get that clean and stuff? So it's a scouring agent, and what it says, it's a natural abrasive. So what is a natural abrasive? You would be so surprised when you open this lid, you'll find this pink paste, and it is actually ground up cherry pits. And that's what our scour off is made of. It's made of cherry pits, and it smells like red licorice. And people love it. And they take it camping, they take it everywhere with them. And it's just, and you can use it on just a ton of different things, anyway, I just never give up. When you see a pot and you think that pot's ruined, I'll never use it. No, you get the scour off and it looks like it's new again, so it's great. Okay. And I want to go through just a couple and then I'll get to Maureen. Dishwashing liquid concentrate. I just wanted to go through this because this has a hand conditioner. It actually has something in it that's good for your hands. So when you're done washing the dishes, instead of your hands being all like dried and rough and red and stuff, you condition them while you were doing it. It's wonderful. And you use drops. Again, just like basic H, you use little tiny squirt, tiny drops. And we have a hand wash that works equally as well. And this is a newer product. This is our germ off disinfecting wipe. I'll go through this because I know Maureen's going to talk about the germicide. But this is nice because, again, it kills the coronavirus. It kills the influenza, human norovirus. No rinsing required, even on food contact surfaces. Kills 99% of bacteria. So in other words, you can wipe it on, you don't have to rinse it off, and it is completely safe to use. Like if it's a cutting board, it's completely safe to use. So that's really exciting. Now I'm going to ask Maureen if she will give us some tips because she's been using these products for a while, and I'm going to don't mind me here. I can't control myself here. I'm hitting the wrong thing. I'm going to bring the pictures back so she can talk too. I can bring them back here. Here we go. Okay. I don't know where she is though. Are you there, Maureen?
I'm here.
There you are. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
So one of the first ones.
Maureen, I have to tell you, Maureen and I are long-term friends, and she is a Shaklee distributor and just very knowledgeable about all this. So it's great to hear from you today.
So I just have a couple of different stories. When my daughter moved into her apartment in Penn State, and so this would be back in 2010. So I've been using them for a really long time, and I had all my cleaners. And initially, you got all three moms there who were cleaning the kitchen, and it clearly was never cleaned before we got there. There was like all this dust and grease embedded, like on top of the cupboards, and everybody's washing it. And of course, it's just nothing. So I got the dishwashing liquid, and I just, put it on my scouring pad, and I just went and just washed it right off like it was nothing. And so the girls at least got to start off with a clean apartment. And by time they were ready to leave and it was time to clean it up so we could at least get our deposit back from, them moving in, her roommate, so there were two girls on each side and they shared the bathroom, and her roommate used all of these hair care products. And there was such a buildup in the shower. It was unbelievable. I thought, oh my God, this is never, ever going to come clean. And I got the scour off paste, and I just slowly got in the shower and I just washed it. That shower was sparkling clean. You could not believe it. Yeah. And the floors in the apartment, after 3 years of them using everybody talks about this Swiffer jet where they spray and then they use a Swiffer, and it's supposed to make your floors all clean. Well, they had like a textured tile, those cheap textured tiles that are like in apartment buildings, things like that. And so there was just all this dirt that was just in all the depressions of the texture. And I used the basic H, but I used it a little bit stronger, and I would literally wet the area, leave it sit for a couple of minutes, and I would go back and just wash it off, and it was just like unbelievable, like it just came totally clean.
Yeah.
So we got our total deposit back,
Yeah.
and it was great. I mean, it was just kind of really incredible to see how well this actually really worked. And then
I was going to say, Maureen, would you mention the germicide one too? Because I think we're going to be
I was.
really short on time here.
I'm just going to do that real quick. My
Yeah.
neighbor, so we had a tree, and their shed, the roof of their shed was all like green, and it just looked gross. He was out there and he was scrubbing and scrubbing, and nothing was taking it off. So I went out there and said, like, kind of felt a little guilty because our tree was shading it. But I brought him a bucket of, I used the basic G, and I made up a bucket, yeah, and I made a bucket up for him, and he used it on the roof, and it totally came clean. And this is about 3-4 years ago, and they have not had to clean it since.
Mm-hmm.
It's still like perfectly black. It was just incredible that it could, take care of this mold and mildew or whatever it was that was growing all over that roof, but it just totally took care of it.
Terrific. Thank you so much. And I'm telling you, I know Brian experienced that. He was in the flood, and he would actually spray the germicide. People that used Clorox, their mold and stuff was back the next day. He didn't have any for a whole week. So he was amazed. He was kind of surprised because that, he was a naysayer. Anyway, so let's go on real quickly. Again, we have liquid concentrate. This is for your clothes, 32 loads in a small bottle, and it competes with all of the organic laundry detergents, and actually we remove stains better than OxyClean. So yay for us. And then let's see if I can move this over. This is a favorite product of mine. If I can move this over, I'd like to show you, but I can't do it because okay, never mind. I'll just show you. So this is a Nature Bright. Nature Bright is a laundry booster and stain remover, but you can also use it on stainless steel sinks, white sinks, take stains out of white sinks. We use it for we've taken out lipstick, blood, you just name it, wine. I have it on white stuff. It's amazing. And also these are our dryer sheets. This is what they look like in a box. And again, you can put them right in the recycle bin when you're done because they're completely non-toxic. Again, our products are all 100% guaranteed, and you get your money back guarantee if there's anything you do not like. So we just like to remind people. And just to say that we believe home should be the safest place in the world.